Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm one of the writers and directors of a feature film, and today I'll be sharing the screenplay for our animated movie. We meet Ollie, 14, a lanky, nervous kid with a shock of white hair. He's trying to juggle multiple tasks, chasing a runaway drill, pouring chemicals into a beaker, turning on a Bunsen burner. He's flustered. Things start to go wrong. The drill knocks over a tower of glasses, breaking them. The chemical reaction creates a nauseous purple cloud. The Bunsen burner catches a paper towel on fire. In the midst of this chaos, Ollie looks down at his watch, freaking out because he's late. He grabs a bag of groceries, knocking over the fish tank on the way out the door. Disoriented, covered in water and fish, Ollie trips and drops his groceries. Fish flopping on the floor around him. He frantically tries to corral them while crying out to God that he's late. Then he notices a brightly colored card on the ground next to him. It reads, "Happy birthday, Zuzu." Ollie deflates. Of course, he's forgotten Zuzu's birthday. In media res, Ollie wakes up suddenly in his bed, gasping. It was just a dream. Shaking with anxiety, he gets out of bed and runs to his bathroom. Looking in the mirror, he sees a pale, puffy-eyed version of himself staring back. "Don't forget," he whispers to his reflection. "Don't forget, don't forget, don't forget." Ollie is a brilliant young inventor who's also incredibly scatterbrained. He suffers from severe anxiety, specifically the fear of forgetting important things. That paralyzes him and prevents him from living his life. He desperately wants to experience everything, but he is so focused on making sure he remembers everything that he ends up missing out on life anyway. Ollie's best friend, Zuzu, 14, is the opposite of him. She's energetic, impulsive, and present-minded. She loves life and wants to experience everything right now. She constantly drags Ollie out of his workshop and into adventures, something he's grateful for, but often freezes up in the moment and can't fully participate. Ollie's biggest invention is called the Remember All Machine, or RAM. The headset is small and sleek. It looks like a cross between a VR headset and a pair of headphones. He wears it like a crown. When activated, the world becomes crisper, brighter, more colorful. The RAM records everything he sees, hears, and feels. It stores those memories in a massive crystal database. He can replay them back at any time with perfect clarity, seeing and hearing exactly what he experienced. The best part of the RAM is that it can project holographic recordings. So when Ollie plays back a memory, he can interact with the environment and people as if he were there again. All his fears of forgetting fall away. Professor Ponder, Ollie's wise elderly mentor, walks slowly into view. He speaks in gentle warnings and metaphors, having learned long ago that some things are meant to be forgotten. At first, Ollie thinks the RAM will solve his problems, but it introduces new ones. Here's a beat sheet for the movie. As we open Act 1, Ollie is on the verge of completing his greatest invention yet. He tinkers around his cluttered workshop, scattering tools and components everywhere. He's excited and nervous. This is his chance to finally get his life together. He's struggling to thread a tiny wire through a narrow hole. He tries different techniques, blows on it, uses tweezers, sucks at it. Nothing works. Then Zuzu comes bounding through the door. She's carrying a stack of pancakes, one for her and one for Ollie. She's cheerful. Ollie is too absorbed in his work to notice her or enjoy the gift. Zuzu is hurt. She sits down on the table to eat her pancake alone. Then it hits Ollie. He has one last trick to get the wire threaded. Inspired, he grabs the wire and darts out of the room. Zuzu watches him go, smiling sadly. A few moments later, Ollie returns and puts the final touches on his machine. He straps on the headset and it springs to life. The RAM is done. At first, the world looks the same. But as Ollie moves around, he begins to notice the differences. Everything is crisper, brighter, more colorful. He can see a butterfly fluttering past his window. He can hear birds chirping outside. Suddenly, Ollie is experiencing life in Technicolor. Ollie checks out the room's interface. Everything he sees, hears, smells, and feels is highlighted and filed away into a massive crystal database. He can search through it at any time and revisit any moment. Ollie spends the next few hours running tests on his machine. He is thrilled. At last, he's the perfect person. He'll never forget a name, a fact, or a task. He won't miss a deadline or forget an assignment. He passes every test with flying colors. Then he gets a text from Zuzu asking if he wants to go plum meeting, their word for a crazy, impromptu adventure. Ollie glances down at his wrist. He has to finish organizing his morning memories. He can't wait. Zuzu arrives at Ollie's house. She walks in and finds him sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by glowing crystals. He's beaming. Zuzu is confused. She thought Ollie would want to go plum meeting with her. Instead, he's glued to his machine. As Zuzu walks away disappointed, Ollie turns to his ram. It's the best invention he's ever built. Later that day, Professor Ponder walks into Ollie's workshop. He sees the ram and warns Ollie that the line between remembering and being remembered is a thin one. He knows Ollie means well, but cautions him that sometimes it's better to forget than to remember. Then he leaves, shaking his head knowingly. Ollie ignores the warning. He's too busy playing back his first plum meeting with Zuzu. He beams at the memory. He's finally reliving it the way it should have been. But then he notices something. Zuzu was clearly disappointed when he didn't come plum meeting with her. That night, Ollie can't sleep. The ram has become a crutch. He rewatches conversations, searching for hidden meanings. He analyzes everything he said and did that day, looking for clues to what Zuzu really meant. The next day at school, Ollie quizzes one of his friends about a conversation they had last week. The friend is confused. How could Ollie remember every word he said? Did he even listen when they were talking? Ollie's life becomes a series of hollow performances. He refuses to make a decision without reviewing all previous data. He needs to analyze every option before choosing one. He can't trust his gut or take a leap of faith. He can't connect with anyone on an emotional level. He's physically present but mentally absent. He and Zuzu walk home from school together. She asks him what he wants to do. He starts listing pros and cons. She walks ahead of him, exasperated. Back at the workshop, Ollie is slumped in his chair, facing his ram. He's playing back the memory of him and Zuzu walking home. He fast-forwards through dozens of mundane moments until he gets to the part where Zuzu asks him what he wants to do. He pauses it. He analyzes Zuzu's body language. What does she really mean? Was this a test? Is she measuring his love for her by how much he remembers? Afraid of getting it wrong, Ollie becomes obsessive about finding the answer. Days turn into weeks. Ollie hardly leaves his house. He barely eats or sleeps. All he does is research and analyze. His skin becomes sallow, his eyes dark and sunken. He is haunted by the past. One day, Zuzu sneaks into Ollie's house. She's furious. She hasn't seen him in days. She demands answers. Why did he forget to go out with her? Why has he forgotten her? Ollie crumbles. He takes off the ram and admits that he doesn't know what he wants to do anymore. He doesn't know anything anymore. Zuzu realizes that the ram has broken Ollie. She walks over to the machine, picks it up, and throws it to the ground. It cracks and fizzles, sending sparks flying. She grabs Ollie's hand and drags him out of the house. He stumbles after her, dazed. Zuzu pulls him toward the hill they used to play on as kids. It's been years since he's been here. When they reach the top, Zuzu stops and spins round. The sunset is breathtaking. She forces Ollie to look at it. For a moment, the real-world beauty overwhelms the projected memories. She tells him to just look, not to record, not to remember, just to see. After a long silence, Zuzu speaks softly. She tells Ollie that their friendship matters more than any invention and that he can't forget her. Ollie reaches up and rips the ram from his head. The holograms vanish. The world is quiet, real, and beautifully imperfect. He takes a deep, shaky breath. He looks at Zuzu and says, "I'm sorry I forgot to be here." Zuzu smiles and takes his hand. Together, they run down the hill, laughing.